Let's get right to it. Congressman Darrell Issa is with us. Congressman, welcome to the program. It's very good to have you on board today. I gotta say, sir, that in my opinion, the scandal has flat out come and gone. Seems like the administration won this one. What happened?
Well, the information is still coming in, and my replacement as chairman, Jason Chaffetz, is going to be getting over 60,000 pages of emails from Lois Lerner that the Inspector General Russell George had uncovered by doing what the IRS should have done, which was looking at backups and looking for that data, which he has found in massive amounts. And quite frankly, Paul Ryan, the new chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, already has some of that because he receives it unredacted for personal information. So the scandal is still there. The reality is Lois Lerner still lied to Congress and then took the fifth, and the president and his henchmen are clearly culpable, and our report said so. But as you know, tonight the president's going to speak at the State of the Union, and I doubt that he's going to mention that part of taxes. Instead, he'll mention higher taxes.
But what a lot of our viewers, a lot of people want to know, was there a connection between what the IRS was doing with conservatives and contact with the White House and the re-election campaign? That's the link that everybody's looking for. Now, if you've already got some of these emails, and Congressman Ryan has seen these emails, any results from what you've seen so far?
Well, there are two links that you can find that are very, very much in evidence. One is Democratic members of the House and the Senate, when they were in the majority, were constantly writing and asking for this kind of harsh treatment, which they got. Additionally, Lois Lerner worked closely with two commissioners that we've held responsible for being part of the problem, part of the cover-up, and in both cases making false or misleading statements to Congress. And they, of course, visited the White House many, many times.
When do you think we might get some conclusive answers? And I know this is a loaded question because our viewers are really impatient about this. You know, when do you think we might get an answer?
That's a great question, Stuart. And just like Fast and Furious, this is likely to be tied up in the courts even after we get all the documents we can get through other means. As you may remember, Fast and Furious sort of got quiet. Well, it got quiet because we've been in federal court with a judge who has already taken longer at the district court level to make decisions and has not completed her work than it took to get from the break-in at Watergate to the president resigning. The courts move slowly these days, and quite frankly, it's frustrating for those of us who believe that these kinds of questions should be answered quickly and honestly by an administration that promised to be the most transparent in history.
Congressman, as things stand now, a lot of people will say the administration won. By keeping it quiet and bottling it up for a period of years, literally years, almost 3 years, they won. What's your answer?
Stuart, if they had been open and transparent and if they'd made the changes, we probably wouldn't have the House and the Senate in Republican hands. It was their hubris that, in fact, caused the voters not to trust this administration and vote overwhelmingly for Republicans in both houses of Congress. So, although I don't like it, we're not a parliamentary system, and when we have divided government, we work well, and that's what we have now, thanks to the voters.
I take it you're going to be there tonight watching the State of the Union address. You will be there, I'm sure of that. The president's going to make various proposals to raise taxes and spend more money. Have any of his proposals a chance of getting through the Republican Congress? Any of them?
Stuart, he had his chance and he took it. He raised our taxes in all possible areas, including even taxing medical devices. He expanded government by the greatest amount since FDR, and he did that when he had Democratic control of the House and Senate. He's not going to get to do this. He certainly, when he's screaming sequestration and cutting off the funding to our military men and women in uniform, he's certainly not going to get to have a tax increase that doesn't reinforce the basics. And he's not talking about that. As a matter of fact, he's talking, and as a Brit, former Brit, you appreciate this, he's talking about nationalizing the community college system. That's really what he says when he says, Papa, you know, in Washington will pay for, you know, unlimited free 2-year post-high school education. That's nationalizing a major part of our education system, and something that clearly the state should be very wary of.
Where do you stand politically, Congressman? Are you in the moderate camp that wants to accommodate the discussion, or are you in the other camp which wants to go right at the president and challenge him head on? Now, there are two camps. You know there are two camps here. Which one are you in?
Well, I clearly believe the president has overreached and done things which are outside his constitutional authority. I often consider myself in many ways a fairly moderate member. I'll work with the president. I'll make compromise where I can. But this president is not seeking compromise. He's used executive orders when he didn't have constitutional authority. So put me down in that camp of absolute hardliners over my dead and bleeding body. Will this president assume that elections don't have consequences? Mr. President, elections do have consequences. The Republicans won, you lost. It's time for you to come to the table with concessions, including the XL pipeline, including serious tax reform, not tax increases, and cuts in government, not just cuts to our military.
You see, now that's what the viewers wanted, over my dead and bleeding body. Now that's the expression we wanted there, Congressman. I'm very glad that you could come on the show today. We do appreciate you being here. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you.